And our last section in chapter 21, 21.3, climate change. Our objectives describe the way Earth's climate changes over time and explain the causes of climate change. This is a hot button topic right now around the world, and especially within our society here in the United States. So big question here, what are the major causes of climate change? Key idea here, Earth's climate is constantly changing due to the effects of the heat budget and interactions among the four spheres of Earth. So Earth's climate is constantly changing. If we look at the ice record in Antarctica, we see that there's been temperature changes for thousands of years back in the ice record. So, what pattern of temperature fluctuation is evident in Antarctica based on this graph? It changes about every 100,000 years. So if you look at the peaks are about 100,000 years apart. If you look at the averages are about 100,000 years apart. And if you look at the lows are about 100,000 years apart. So global climate changes can be caused by changes in Earth's energy budget and by the interactions among Earth's spheres. Causes for climate change include variations in Earth's motions, the locations of the continents, variations in sunspots, and gases and ash ejected into the atmosphere by volcanoes. Now, human activities are increasing the amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and there is evidence that the increase is contributing to current global warming. Natural causes also change the global temperatures. For example, in June 1991, the eruption of Mount Pinatubo sent 25 megatons of sulfurous aerosols into the air. Now, global temperatures fell about half a degree the following year, drastically changing the climate around the world. So, does the graph indicate the global warming could be occurring, and explain how this graph could show that? This is a global surface temperature change graph showing the average from 1951 to 1980, and then has the years on the year on the bottom. So watch how that trend has changed over time. So yes, since about 1970, the temperature change generally has been trending upward. The greatest change is in the late 90s. So we see this sharp change right here recently, okay, where it becomes very steep. We do have a couple here too before 1980. Now, the causes of climate change are complex, so predicting climate change is very difficult. Scientists study past climate change by analyzing seafloor sediments, glacial samples, tree rings, and other indirect pieces of evidence. Let's try this out. Let's look at your own carbon footprint, or how you may affect climate change. Approximately 9 kilograms of carbon dioxide are produced for each gallon of gasoline that is burned in an automobile. How much carbon dioxide would be produced each year by driving a car to school from home? Now assume the car averages 20 miles per gallon and 180 school days. Go ahead and try this out on your own. First, you would need to find the distance to school, multiply it by 2 because you're going both to school and back because it's a round trip. Then you multiply that times your number of school days per year, divide that by 20 miles per gallon, then multiply that total by 9 kilograms. That's how you find your carbon footprint just by traveling to and from school. If you drive a car, you can also look up, or if you're driving a bus. So if you're walking to school or riding your bike, or you find other forms of transportation, obviously that's going to lessen your carbon footprint. Okay, let's do an overview of chapter 21. First, we started off with what is climate, talked about temperature and precipitation and the different types of climate controls. Then, second section was climate zones, all the polar climates, the dry climates, humid tropical climates, moist mid-latitude climates, and then the highlands. And then finally, this section was climate change, causes of climate change, and human effect on climate change, and then measuring climate change.